Hello everyone, this is Lance Keith, Department Head of Agricultural Sciences at West Texas A&M, and I'm reaching out to our students, our faculty, our staff, people who support WT Ag, as well as WT in general. Just wanted you to hear a word from the department as we are in this COVID-19 situation. Things have changed, and we are first off practicing the recommendations put forth by the university and the A&M system to keep everyone safe and sound. Daily operations and procedures continue. They're being done differently. Our staff is working, our faculty are working, teaching class and conducting the research, communicating with the public. Our staff is paying bills and developing opportunities to catch up on some stuff, as well as we all are during these slack times. We're not hosting any events in the building at this time. Just as a little FYI, last year we hosted over 300 events in the new Ag Sciences Complex and had a schedule full for the remainder of the spring. So it's unique for us. I will say it's a little lonely in the building that we're in, and hopefully when this thing passes, we can get back to offering what we do, not only in the classrooms and our research, but also in hosting events. Just wanted to touch on a couple things as it relates to teaching and advising to our students. Faculty are still engaged. They have to do some things new, just like you are. Some of our students are very familiar with online education. Some of our faculty have never done it. It's a quick learning curve. We're just asking for grace on both sides. Same thing for the students. Now, with that said, first and foremost, students, communicate with your faculty. Reach out by email, text, Zoom. They're becoming proficient at Zoom, so I would encourage you to do that. Be in touch about your classes. The grading system, we had an email come out. WT is staying with the same grading system that we had in place before. It's not a pass-fail, so students, take it serious. It's not just going to be a pass for this. There's still requirements to meet through your syllabi. But once again, modifications are being put in place. Our job is to help you succeed, not to be punitive in what we're doing. But there's still reality that needs to be considered. The drop date has been extended. You need to look at that potentially. But work with your faculty. Just don't get scared and run and drop a class. Talk to them. Be very candid. Faculty will be very open and transparent with you about what the future looks like. Also for advising, that's a big question. Connect with your faculty. I would encourage you to have your information together when you communicate with your faculty to save some time. You take ownership of the classes you're going to take and the direction of your academic career as we move forward. And a little bit about the grades is, guys, we have professional programs here, and grades are very important for various outsets. So we have people who need transcripts that show letter grades, not just a pass-fail. Is part of that decision, so it's a little backing up. Our research is continuing. We have faculty that are feeding cattle, feeding horses, conducting research in the field, so it's continuing. We're doing it, practicing all the social distancing and the things that's set forth by the university and how to operate. And Doc's Meat Store is actually open on Mondays and Fridays, that you can come in and purchase product on Mondays and Fridays from 8 to 5. So our service component, we're continuing in that from a distance, and we're still planning for the future. This thing will lift hopefully at some point, and we'll get back to hosting events, helping educate our community, and serving our industry. We're having to find new ways to cast a footprint, but it'll probably be in the electronic area, doing some things we haven't done before. But we will maintain our relationships with our industry, our alumni, the people that rely on us, and vice versa, who we rely on. At the end of the day, our job is to serve people, not only students, but clientele, through research, through service, through activities. I will wrap this up and not keep you very long, but I want to close with 3 points. One is safety and protection for all of our people, animals, and protecting the mission of what we do in WT Ag. And this is a new game for us, and I want to tell you a story about my grandparents. They got married around the turn of the century. In the 19s area, and my granddad told me this story as they got married in a little country church, and they were in a horse and buggy situation leaving the church, And my grandmother jumped in, got the reins, started down the road, and this horse that they had pulling the buggy decided to stop and eat some grass. My grandmother got off the buggy, went down, pulled that horse's head up, and said, "That's one." And so my granddad, not realizing what she was doing, kind of looked at her quizzically, and they went along a little further, and the horse decided to stop and eat a little more grass. She got off the wagon, went down, pulled that horse's head up, and looked him in the eye and said, "That's two." Got back on the wagon. At this point, my granddad was really concerned with what was going on, but kept his mouth shut. Went a little further. Once again, the horse decided to stop and eat a little grass. My grandmother got down, said, "That's three," took a gun out from under her skirt, shot that horse dead, and said, "Buddy, that was three, and I won't give you another." So granddad was surprised at all get out. Got back on the wagon, and he's like, "Why in the world did you do that?" And she looked at my granddad and said, "That's one." So guys, there's a new set of rules. There's a new understanding for a lot of the things we're doing, and it's being written daily. So abide with it. Keeping our country safe, keeping our people safe is very important. So we encourage you to practice those things, and it's for other safety, not just our own. Keep that in mind. We also encourage you during this time is not to take a mindset of survivability. Let's take a mindset of change and innovation. The normal has changed for us. There will be a new normal coming, and we need to embrace that. But in WT Ag, we want to move forward. We want to bring innovation. We want to do things different that meets the current societal needs. We're not going to get away from our hands-on. We're not going to get away from our social relationships with our students, which is the reason we work here. And it also reminds me of another story about attitude. Anybody in my classes know that I'm very big on attitude. All of you have had the attitude statement from Dr. Charles Swindoll. It's not what happens. It's 10% of what happens to us, but 90% of how we react to it. And it's the same way with this. So the attitude is two young twins. They were born at the same time, two young boys. But personalities were different, and they went to the doctor and said, "I have one son that is always happy and one son that is always negative." And the doctor said, "Well, let's do an experiment on these guys. Let's put them in reverse roles in situations to where the happy one would be put in a situation that's not too happy, and put the other one in a situation to where they can be very happy." So they took a room and built the room to have all the toys, the latest gadgets, things like that, and they put the son with the negative attitude in that room, and they peered in and watched him look at those toys, and all they heard was complaints that this ball is not the right color, this bicycle's not the kind I wanted, this video game doesn't work the way I wanted it. And they were kind of distraught with that. And they looked at the boy who was in the other room, and in the room was just one big box. And they had filled that box with horse manure. And when they looked in at that boy had opened that box, and he was rummaging through that manure, throwing it everywhere, and screaming with excitement, saying, "With this much manure, there's got to be a horse in here somewhere." And that's the attitude we want to take when life gives us these things, guys, is find the positive, find that attitude to get through this and move us forward. And last but not least is to not worry about what we do, but why we do it. And Simon Sinek is a person that has talked about that. And why we do what we do in WT Ag is to serve others. And during this time, we're going to have to find new ways to serve others. But we want to preserve those things that we have done in the past that have worked, and preserve the things that we know make a big difference. And that is taking care of our people, taking care of the things we believe in, our faith, drawing on that to serve our community, the greater community in agriculture, but also community as a whole. But more importantly, our faculty work here because of students, and they work here because of relationships. And we will continue that, and we will guard that because we want you to go out and be a productive member of society and give back as we are. You've all heard the story probably of the starfish and the little boy on the beach. A guy was walking down and saw him throwing a starfish into the ocean, and the guy's like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I'm helping this starfish." And he says, "Look at this beach. There's millions of starfish here. You can't save them all." And that boy said, "Well, I can save one." So as we go forth, think about how you can help others through this time, how you can be a positive aspect and have the positive attitude, and also have a mindset of knowing where the rules are during this time as they're being rewritten for us. On behalf of WT Ag, we miss you guys. We look forward to getting people back on campus. And I end by saying, go Buffs.